Okay, that's an interesting question because a pandemic, I think it's a crisis. Of course, all the cinemas were closed. Now the people are coming more difficult to the cinema, of course. We understand that the attitudes has changed, but I absolutely believe that once the people feel safe enough, they will be back in the cinemas. And it's a chance for all the cinema operators to connect on a new level with their audiences, to use this crisis to think over everything they're doing, we are doing, and to reconnect about the whole experience that we are offering. We live in changing times, it's clear. It's clear. So we have to think in a new way. And pandemic, of course, is terrible, but it gave us the space to rethink this. How we connect, what else we can offer to make them safe, to offer them entertaining and pleasure of attending our cinemas, and how, of course, to give access to more different audiences. And I absolutely believe, as in the 20s, very interesting, but after a big crisis, the people were coming out to life, dancing and enjoying everything that life has to offer. And I think we have to focus on that in rebuilding our connection with the audiences. Specifically, less people, more organization, more safety, more disinfection, which in a way slow the whole process, but in a way gives this safety that the people need to have, and we need to know that it's there. So we don't want to feel kind of responsible for something going wrong. But I think even the people in the cinema, like the audience and our team, started to be much more careful to each other. These are slight changes, but they're changing a lot in the future relations. So I have to say, of course, as a festival organizer and as a cinema exhibitor, yes, for most of the screenings we were less people, but you could see that it was the same enthusiasm. So it's just, I don't think there are dramatic changes. Of course, it's dramatic if your cinema is closed, but of course we are not talking about that. We are talking now that it's recovering and now it's open, of course, on a reduced capacity. But if it's what it takes, let it take it. Again, it gives us space to rethink how we're going to start when everything will be open. Because, of course, all we know, it's a different game. If you're open at 100% and if all the people were there, and if you're open at 50% and half of the people are there, it makes a big difference. But we cannot avoid it. It's a force majeure. What we can do is just to think how to make our relationships with the audience better and to have this time to reflect on what we can offer you more, because you will need it. People need social connection. Theater, cinema, all the cultural events, they are social connections. People come not only to see, they can see it at home. They come and need to spend some time with you. So, for example, I think developing the outer spaces of the cinema is very important. So after the screening, people can have a drink in front of the cinema, have an area that they can talk about what they have seen. The beauty of Venice, but not only as a place, but the beauty of film selection and the easiness. The easiness you go to the screenings, the easiness you communicate it with people. Cannes is great, it's huge, but you never have the time to go into deep conversation like here. And I think it's the art of the good conversation about good cinema. I think that's Venice. But as you mentioned, the King of the Belgium, I can tell you that right now I'm coming from a shooting of the next film of Jessica Woodward, The Fortress, which is based on Dino Buzzati's book, The Tatar Steppe, and it's shooting right now, right here in Italy. So we hope we come to Venice very soon, once the film is ready.